morning, students. Today we're going to be on Geometry Lesson 2.2. And what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be multiplying polynomials. Multiplying polynomials. That's what we're going to be going over today. Now, a method that you might be familiar with is the FOIL method. And what the FOIL method is first, outside, inside, and last. First, outside, inside, last. And let me just remind you, polynomials, we're going to start with binomials. The FOIL method works with binomials. So like x plus 3 times 2x minus 4. So there's two binomials. And if we're going to do the first numbers are those two. So x times 2x is 2x squared. 2x squared, right? 2 times 1, because you know the coefficient here is a 1, so 2 times 1 is 2. X times x is x squared. So that's our first. Outside would be, try and get different colors here. The outside and the outside. So minus 4x. So x times negative 4 is negative 4x. So that's the outside. We did the first. And now the inside ones would be this one and this one. So 3 times 2x is a positive 6x. And then the last would be this one and this one. So 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. So I don't know if I made it more complicated than it is, but first numbers, outside numbers, inside numbers, and last numbers. So now we have 2x squared minus 4x plus 6x minus 12. So we look and we see, oh look, we can combine these two terms because they're like terms. So we have 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. And that's our final answer, simplified. Now, FOIL sometimes throws people off. What Mr. Dailies likes to say is he likes to say double distribute. But here, hold on. Here's the FOIL method right here. First terms, outer terms, inside terms, and last terms. So there's what I just showed you right there. There's the FOIL method. Now, the double distribute might be easier. Double distribute might be easier to understand if we had 3x plus 2 times 4x minus 1. Let's do plus. Since we did a plus and minus up here, we'll do 2 pluses here. So double distribute, I'm going to show you one last technique. Double distribute is simply distributing the 3 through the whole problem and then distributing the 2 through the whole problem. So let me show you what I mean. If I follow this red, I have 3x times 4x. So 3x times 4x is 12x squared. And then 3x times 1 is 3x. And then I have 2 times 4x. So that's 8x. And 2 times 1 is 2. So that's the double distribute, which I find a little bit easier to follow. I just distribute the 3x to everything, and then I distribute the 2 to everything. And this distribute will work for any polynomials. Multiplication. FOIL just works with the So I simplify. I have my like terms right here. So I have 12x squared plus 11x plus 2. Now let's do what I call the boxcar troll method. And I have found that this is the easiest method for students to follow. Let's just take the same one, 3x plus 2 times 4x plus 1. So the boxcar troll method, I make a box. And if there's two terms here, I have 2 here, so I have 3x, and I have a 2. There's 2 terms here, so I have 2 here, so I have 4x and 1. So the boxcar troll method, I simply multiply these into the boxes. So 4x times 3x is 12x squared. 4x times 2 is 8x. 3x times 1 is 3x. 2 times 1 is 2. And now I just write these. Sorry, forget about this line right here. I just write these. So I have my 12x squared plus my 3x plus my 8x plus 2. I have my like terms, so I have 12x squared plus 11x plus 2. This is the method that can work. Let's say I had a trinomial here where I would have 3 boxes, right? Or 3 boxes here. So this is a method that works with all polynomials. These 2 methods work with all polynomials. I highly encourage this one because it's the easiest to use and the least likely to get mixed up with different numbers. Okay, now one thing to remember, here's a little side note. X times x equals x squared. X squared times x equals x to the third. X plus x equals 2x. Do you see the difference here? X times x is x squared, right? 2 of these x's. X plus x is 2 times x. So there's a total difference here, right? If x was 9, this would be 91, and this would be 18. So it's a huge difference. And then if we had x plus x, we would have 3x. So just make sure you keep the difference. X squared times x is x to the third. X plus x is 3x. So just have that side note there. Make sure you get it. So part of your homework is to show this page in notes. And the other part of the homework is to do these ones. So let's go through these together. I'll do one FOIL, and then I'll do one boxcar troll. Or actually, I'll do one double distribute. So x times x times -1. So I get x squared minus 1x. Then I have -2 times x and -2 times -1. Make sure that negative stays with the 2. So I have -2x. -2 times -1 is +2. And then I'm not done. I have to simplify. I have to combine my like terms. So I have x squared. -1x minus 2x is -3x plus 2. There you go. Give number 2 a try. See how you do. Number 3, I'll do boxcar troll method. So I've got 2 and 2. So I've got g plus 2. And I've got g plus 4. This is g squared. This is 2g, 4g, and 8. So I have g squared plus 4g plus 2g plus 8. Right? I just wrote each one of these down here. I have my like terms. So my final answer is g squared plus 6g plus 8. All right. Since the boxcar troll method is what I think the easiest, I'm going to do this one, the same boxcar troll method. And it doesn't matter which one I put here and which one I put here, as long as I make the boxes. So I'll put in and 1 here. I'll put 3 in and -4 here. So that's 3n squared. -4 times n is -4n. 3n times 1 is 3n. -4 times 1 is -4. 3n squared minus 4n plus 3n minus 4. Again, combine my like terms. I get 3n squared. Negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1n minus 4. And if I have no number in front of here, that means the coefficient is 1. So negative n is the same as negative 1n. Here's my answer. Now here they set it up for you. They set up the boxcar trolls. So make it a little bit easier. So I have x and a negative 3. I have x and a negative 2. I have x squared, negative 3x, negative 2x, 6. X squared minus 2x minus 3x plus 6. Combine my two like terms. I have x squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay. Here I have a q and a 3. I have a q and a 7. Q squared, 3q, 7q, and 21. Don't get your q's mixed up as 8s. So I have q squared plus 7q plus 3q plus 21. So I have q squared plus 10q plus 21. All right, any questions, let me know. Negative 3, negative 2h. So I have, oh look, they kind of switched it around. I have my h's on the outside. I'll still come up with the same answer, and I'll do the same pattern. So negative 18h. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Negative 2 times 6 is negative 12h squared. Negative 2 times negative 2, so that'd be 4h. So I'm going to write it out in standard form. So I'm going to go for my largest exponent. First, I have negative 12h squared, and then minus 18h plus 4h plus 6. There's my like term, so I have negative 12h squared. Negative 18 positive 4 is negative 14h plus 6. There you go. Not done yet. This is getting fun. But I'm going to have to pause the video right here because I got to get to morning meeting. So I will be right back. All right, we are back. Sorry about that. A brief intermission. We're back to continue with some FOIL. So it says use the FOIL method. I'm going to say use whatever method works best for you. Since the method I've seen most successful for students is the boxcar troll methods, I'm going to use the boxcar troll method. So I have x and 2 here. I have x and negative 3 here on the top. X times x squared. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. X times 2 is 2x. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. X squared minus 3x plus 2x minus 6. So I have x squared, negative 3 positive 2. That's a negative 1x. So negative x. If you write negative 1x, that's the same thing. So it doesn't really matter. Minus 6. All right, I hope this is clicking. Do a couple more, and then we'll get into trinomials. Again, boxcar trolls. H and a negative 2. H and a positive 4. So I have h squared, negative 2h, 4h, negative 8. So I have h squared minus 2h plus 4h minus 8. So you notice I have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. Combine my two like terms. I have h squared plus 2h minus 8. All right. I'll move this one over just a little bit. So 4n and negative 1, 3n and 4. So I have 12n squared. 12n squared. 3 times 4 is 12. N times n is n squared. 4 times 4n is 16n. 3n times negative 1 is negative 3n. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So I have 12n squared plus 16n minus 3n minus 4. Just double checking I have all the correct numbers. 12n squared plus 13n minus 4. 16 minus 3 is 13. All right. So here we have a binomial, 2 numbers, times a trinomial, 3 numbers. Now with the boxcar troll, that's no problem. All I'm going to do is make it longer so I can fit my 3 numbers up here. So that's all you have to do. And then everything else is the same. X squared, x, and negative 1. X, negative 2. Now, the numbers in the parentheses have to stay on the same side. So my x and my negative 2 have to be here, and then my x squared, x, and negative 1 have to be together. So you have to have the same polygon on the same side. So, all right, x squared times x. That, don't forget, we now have x to the 3rd power. X times x is x squared. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. I'll put a 1 here because people tend to like that 1, so then you can deal with your coefficients more easily. X squared times negative 2 is negative 2x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative 2 is 2. So now you see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to have 6 numbers here. X to the 3rd plus x squared minus 1x minus 2x squared minus 2x plus 2. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look for our like numbers. X to the 3rd, no other likes. X squared, oh, look at that. I have 1x squared and negative 2x squared. And I have a negative 1x and a negative 2x. So writing it in standard form from largest exponent down to smallest exponent or no exponent. X to the 3rd. And then x squared minus 2x squared. So I get negative 1x squared. Do you see that? My x squares don't change. It's my coefficient that changes. So I have a positive 1 and a negative 2. That gives me a negative 1. Negative 1x, negative 2x is negative 3x. And then plus 2. There you go. If that made sense, you just multiplied binomial times a trinomial. Okay. So let's check out this one. We have again a binomial and a trinomial. So I have h and 1. I have h squared, negative h, and negative 1. H squared times h is h to the 3rd. H squared times 1 is h squared. Negative h times h, that's going to be a negative h squared. Negative 1 times h is negative 1h. Negative h times 1 is negative 1h. Negative 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. I'm sorry, negative 1 times positive 1 is negative 1. So h to the 3rd minus h squared minus 1h plus h squared minus 1h minus 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just a quick check, and that lines up. I've got h squared. I've got h and h. So this is h to the 3rd. And then I have negative h squared and positive h squared. Ooh, negative 1, positive 1, that's 0. So those cancel each other out. Negative h, negative 1h, negative 1h, that's a negative 2h minus 1. Okay, and this last one that I'm doing, this last binomial times trinomial, I'll show you. It can be done like this if you choose. So I've got 3n squared, 2n negative 5, 2n and 1. 6n to the third, 3n squared, 4n squared, 2n, negative 10n, negative 5. So let's write those down here. I've got 6n to the third plus 3n squared plus 4n squared plus 2n minus 10n minus 5. I've got an n squared, I've got an n and an n. So 6n cubed, 3n squared, 4n squared, that is 7n squared, 2n minus 10n minus 8n minus 5. All right, so if you end up using boxcar troll method, I think it's the easiest for any polynomial, but use the method that works for you and see how you do. If you have any questions, give me a call, give me a text, we can Zoom,